Right, we're going to be doing an editing practice. So let me share screen and we'll get started. This is a folder here that Mr. Barker will share with you. It's called Editing Practice, Rookies versus Seniors. You'll want to download all of these files. So the Almond Avenue here, scroll down all these HEIC and movie files, including the screen recording down below, and then open up the two Google Docs that we have here. This is the follow along version. So these are the step-by-step instructions that we'll be doing and following for this tutorial. And then the sound bites to find /script is when we do our transcript later, when we edit. We'll just use that so that you can find the clips that you need, and then this will be the order that you'll put them in. It's kind of like a script. So first things first, you're going to make sure that you want to have the right version of Creative Cloud downloaded. So search Creative Cloud. Here it is. Of course, download it, log in with your MVLA account. You'll want to make sure that you have Premiere Pro downloaded here. So if you can't download first, go to Video, install Premiere Pro. And then make sure that what you have here is you're going to go to the three dots to the side, click on it, and you see other versions. You want to make sure that you have version 15.4.5 downloaded. You could download version 22s. Those are a newer update, but I've yet to really test them out fully. So 15.4.5, that's the version to use. So, right, so hopefully you have all your files downloaded. Again, highlight them all, download them, drag them onto your desktop. I have them here in a folder. And we're going to start a Premiere profile. So we'll open it up and we're just going to get started. Right, so this is the homepage for Premiere Pro. We're going to click New Project here. Again, highly recommend that you use a mouse rather than a trackpad. It will make things easier. And we're going to label this Editing Practice, Zoom Demo Version, Rookies v Seniors. Depending on the title you have or the project you have, label it differently. But be clear about it. Location, if this matters to you, right? You can, if you click Browse, you can then pick where you want to put it on your desktop, and then just click OK. And now what we have is project file opened. Up here are the windows. Learning, assembly, editing, color, effects. These are what we call windows. So if you click on different windows, different arrangements of tabs will show up for you, which are specialized to the window, right? So if you're editing, these will help with editing. If you're going to click color, this will help with color control and color grading and color correction, effects, audio. A wave bar would show up here. But the ones that you'll really be using the most with me is going to be assembly, captions, graphics, and possibly editing. Maybe we'll be using assembly. First things first, we are going to be importing all of our media here into the project file. If it does not look like mine, just go to Window, Workspaces, and then Reset to Save Layout. That's Command Option 0, and that'll reset everything to the saved layout. So what we'll do is we'll just start dragging in files. Guys, not too loud. So we're going to select all the files that we need. Again, you downloaded these from your drive, and what you'll do, you'll just drag and drop into import media to start, right? This is our project file. And so now we have this done here. And so we've already successfully completed step number 1, drag all clips into our project. You see it, you can tell I say project title here. It's really here, the project : whatever your title is. If you scrolled along, I mean, you'd find different functions under this tab, but again, this is where all our files are going to be. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create bins and sort files, depending on their respective categories. So if you double click on any of the icons on the side here, what you'll see, actually I'll increase the size so that they're a bit easier to see, if you double click on the icon here, you'll see that it pops out here in source. Program here, what program is your timeline, what you view on your timeline when you start dragging in clips and you start to edit, but source is just the source. It'll show you directly what the clip is. Again, if you double click on the icon, it'll pop up. Some of you might not have this kind of look. You might have the icon list. Again, it's kind of like Finder desktop. I prefer using lists. It's easier for me to organize, and you don't really always need to see what the clips look like anyways. So again, I prefer the list view. They're down here at the bottom, and you can increase the size of the icons and thumbnails accordingly. Also, if you're finding that you're running out of space and you want to expand, again, see the edges of the panel, you can increase the size like so, just by dragging it outwards. And then same thing here with the title, right? Name or title of clip, you can expand it so that it's easier for you to see. What we'll do now is we'll start creating bins. I'm going to decrease the size a bit for a sec. And we're going to create bins by right-clicking anywhere here on the project space, the import space, and click New Bin. And the bin is basically a folder. We're going to call this one Audio. Oh, not Audi. We'll call it Audio. You could have one. You only should make as many bins as you need, but enough to be organized. Here I'm going to make as many bins as I can think of in terms of categories. So music, audio, interviews. You can have one for, one could be called B-roll. You could have another one called animation. I believe we already did one for music. Oh, we have some images here, some stills. So new bin, you call this images, you call these photos, you can call these stills. And what we're going to do now is, now that we have all our bins or folders created, what we'll do is we'll start to drag and drop all of these things together. So just click on it, left click, make sure that's highlighted, and just drag up into wherever these things are. So I know that all these HEIC files, these are all photos or images. So we'll just drag and drop into, right? We see that it's highlighted, the folder. And so now we know that because it's indented, actually what we have is we have folders with stuff in it. You could also do a lasso tool, right? Again, left click, highlight multiple, drag them all in there. And now you have them all at once, right? And now we collapse it. Now we know that those are all our images. Actually, we have one more image. We have this portrait. This portrait here, we'll drag it in there as well. We'll drag again. Drag into images, photos, and stills, make sure that it's highlighted, and you know that's the right bin you put it in, and that's it. Music, we don't have any, so we'll just leave it. Almond Avenue, this is, if we double click, we'll see that this is our waveform. This is the entire field recorder transcript or voice memo transcript that you have of your interview. We'll just draw this into audio. And we have this screen recording here, which is a handy map animation that I screen recorded off of Google Earth Studios, I believe, or Google Maps. What we'll do, drag and drop into, you can drop this into B-roll, you can drop this animation, I'll call this animation. In your animation, make sure to also put in your ending credits or chyrons. That counts as animation. And then all of these other things here, we have our interviews of our subject with, we have a lot of files for all of these. So we're going to select them all and we're going to drag them into interviews here. You guys should not have this this file here, which is called final. This is the final project. This is the end result of the video. It should look like this in this order. You guys don't have access to that. That's just for me. It's like an answer key, really. But you can find this answer key on YouTube. It's published. So what we do now is we're going to, most importantly, label your interview clips. This is key. This is the most important. Again, organization is everything. So what we see here is we have a couple different movie files. We have 2282, 2286, 83, 84, 85. We can kind of see that these are all coming from one camera or one phone, but the guy just decided to take multiple videos rather than one long one. But because they're all in order, I can guess that these are all the same camera angle. So if we double click, we can know that the source is there, right? If we click on 2283, you can see this kind of continuity in here, probably from the same guy moving all over the place. We'll just call this we know this is one camera. 1424 is another camera. 9048 is another camera. So 9048 looks to be like our main angle, our most steady angle. So what we'll do is we'll click enter, or you can double click as well. And you're going to rename the file. You could call this ACAM. I like to go by the ACAM system. You could call this main angle. You could call this DSLR angle, or DSLR cam if it were to be a DSLR cam, because normally if you're shooting with a 2-camera setup, one's a DSLR, one's an iPhone. You could call this angle 1. Again, personally, I prefer the A-cam system. 1424, this is our vertical camera. It moves around a lot. We'll call this C-cam. And then that means the rest of these will all be B cams. Again, I like to label them in order. So this is B cam 1 because 2282 is before 2283. This one we'll call B cam 3, B cam 2, sorry. 884 we'll call this B cam 3. Again, to be really as organized as we can be. I'd also advise you not to, again, double click or highlight the thing and click enter, click return. I'd highly recommend you do not delete the project file names, because if in case you ever delete this and you need to go back to your desktop and you need to align them, at least you know what they're labeled. Or alternatively, label them here in desktop. I think it's a hassle to do that. I like to label things in Premiere Pro. But do not delete the image files. I think it makes, if things ever get lost, it's hard to put them back together. So we've done pretty much everything here in creating bins and sorting stuff. Right, we've labeled our B-roll and interview in the following format. A-cam, B, again, I like the A-cam, B-cam, C-cam style. You could do angle 1, main angle, secondary angle, DSLR, etc. And what we're going to start doing now is we're going to start merging our audio with the audio for the interview and the recorded clips. So what we'll do, and make sure you have your files open. Again, we're under assembly window here. You see we have audio here, and this is this dedicated audio waveform track of 5 minutes that captures everything by the interviewee. And these B cams, this has, you know, the audio from the phone or from the camera, which is not as high quality as the one we have from our field recorder or voice memos with a lapel. So what we're going to do is merge the audio, and by merging the audio, basically, the interview clips instead get replaced. The audio from the camera clip will get replaced with the field recorder clip. So I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to highlight both the interview clip. You can only do this one at a time per camera clip. So highlight both by holding Command and clicking multiple. Right click on the highlighted portion. You're going to go down to merge clips. We merge the clips. I wouldn't bother with a name. Make sure that you've clicked audio and check marked both of the bottom. You've check marked both of these at the bottom. Okay. Click OK, and what Premiere Pro will automatically do is merge the clip for you. So if we want to see what that looks like, if we drag this onto our timeline, what we have is this single portion of camera with our green field recorder track, right?
Headphones Nathan brings is way better.
Big
for audio, those
Leo, I'm recording right now. So what this will look like in comparison to this one, right? We see that this is the same clip actually, right? Except now we've merged it. And so what we've done is basically Premiere Pro has lined up, has synced it exactly to the phone audio and the field recorder audio, except now we've just replaced it. The merged audio has replaced this because it's of lower quality anyway. So that's the only comparison. And this is better for a couple of reasons, which I'll tell you later. First we're going to merge all of our audio. Okay. So just repeat this time for all the interview clips that you have. So again, holding Command, click multiple, right click, merge clips, make sure audio is selected. Don't change the name unless you really want to. I think it's a hassle. Audio, there should only be one track. Use audio timecode from clip, Almond Avenue, which is your field recorder audio, and remove audio from AV clip. Click OK, and you see we have merged again. So we're just going to keep doing that. We're just going to keep merging clips until we're done. So on and so forth. This is number 3, merge clips. So forth. Number 4, merge clips. Keep going. We're not done yet. We have 2 more. We're now merging C-cam. Merge clips. And finally, our last one, A-cam. here, merge clips. So now we have all our clips all over again. So now it's like, well, what's the point of having these ones since they're unmerged and we're not going to use them? I like to keep them because if you delete things and then other things get lost, I just like to keep everything. So we're going to click enter. We're just going to relabel these. We'll call these unmerged. If it's really bothering you to see them, what you can do is you can click the folder and then hide it, or hide all the files underneath it. And then once you click hide, then it disappears, and you can later right click anywhere and you can say view hidden and it'll pop back up. From here, we're going to create another bin. This will be merged interview clips, right? What you can do is select them all with the lasso tool, right click. You can even do new bin from selection, or do the old way, which was just right click, make a new bin. I'm going to speed things up. I'm going to select them all. New bin from selection. We'll call this interviews merged. Okay. And the nice thing about this now is that when we drag all this onto the timeline, they will all have the same audio file, meaning the clips will all be lined up if you line up the audio, because it's the same audio. So I'll show you what I mean by that. We drag the audio onto our timeline here. Again, we're still under assembly mode. We'll drag this out, give us some space. Give us a lot of space. What we next have is BCam5. We'll just drag that on. And this is synced because the green is synced, right? It's the same audio file both times, right? These are both the same. So if you just line up the audio, then you know that the clips will also be synchronized, right? So what you'll do is you'll just do that for all of them. You'll just drag it in. If you appear to be overlapping the blue clips, just stretch out your mouse and like so, and then it'll be aligned, right? If at this point, if it starts overlapping, it's all right because you only need one main one anyways. We'll delete the extra audios. This is BCam3. I'm just gonna make sure that this is synced. Okay. Same thing for BCam4, like so. This is our CCam. Like so, and then we have our A cam, our main angle, and actually this is our biggest one. We'll just drag it out a bit. There we go. So now what we have is all of our files like so, right? They are all synced and we know this because we just aligned all the clips with the merged audio, and they're all merged to the same audio. If they're all merged to the same audio by lining them all up, all of them are the same. If you don't understand this, can't help you. What we'll do next is we'll select it all. Again, lasso tool. Right click on any of the clips, and we're going to unlink them. Just make sure they're unlinked. That way we can start deleting the audio file, the extra audio files. Because if we actually play this through, we can actually see how on the side we have our audio bar. It's hitting 0 decibels, which means it's going to burst people's eardrums. And it's only that loud because we've magnified that audio so many times because it's on so many layers. So what we'll do, just click it and you delete it. Click, delete, okay? And now we have one audio for all of these clips. Nice. What we can do now is organize it a bit more. Again, the two handy keyboard shortcuts would be using plus or minus. Plus, if you click plus holding the timeline, it will increase the size. Minus will make it smaller. Alternatively, you could use the window bar, the slider here at the bottom. We're just gonna make it look a bit nicer. Hold shift, drag down, and by holding shift, what you ensure is that you don't move the clip out of sync, right? Because now you've done that and now it's no longer in sync. By holding shift, what we can do, holding the clip, make sure that it's highlighted, hold shift, you can drag up or down, it will not change the time placement at all, the time code. And now we have all this. I'll now show you another way of syncing clips, which you might want to do when you do not have a unified field recorder clip. And what I'll demo right now is number 4, right? So what we just did is number 3, right? Now we have all our camera angles on the timeline synced to one audio file. What we'll now do is if you have no dedicated audio track, we'll try and sync it. What we'll do now is we'll go back to our unmerged interviews. Say you only had this and you did not have an audio file. This is what it's for. Or you have multiple different audio files. what we'll do is we'll just drag them on. We'll drag all our clips onto the file, onto the timeline, like so. Bcam ones will be here. What you need to be sure is that they are on multiple tracks and that they do not overlap with each other. If they overlap with each other, then it cannot sync. See how they're not overlapping and they're on different tracks. We'll do the same thing for Bcam 3, like so. Number 3 we'll do here, like so. Make sure they're not overlapping. We'll do 4 now. Again, if it extends into this gray space, it's fine. It'll just add another track for you. Alternatively, you could right-click here on the gray space here, right-click, add tracks, and you can add video tracks and add audio tracks. Again, this one line here, this one bar is an audio track. That's a video. This is the video track. This is an audio track. You can see we have 5 audio tracks, 5 video tracks. I just added Bcam 4. We're going to add in the next one, like so. And then our final one, which is our big one, our ACAM here. Let me just make sure I counted that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have 7 files. So what we'll do now is we'll minimize this a bit and we'll shrink it down. And we're going to select all these clips, again, making sure they're all on different timelines and they are all not overlapping. We're going to right click and we're going to click Synchronize. And we're going to synchronize by audio. And what this will do is Premiere Pro will match all your audio together. And now all the camera angles and all the audio are synced together. And as you can see, this looks pretty much is the same arrangement of clips that we have here, right? I mean, if we do a bit of Jenga, it'll look pretty much the same, except you have different types of audio, and the audio is kind of all over the place because it's not the same quality you've had from different cameras. I'm going to take a pause here. What's up, Nathaniel?
No, I was just looking.
Okay. Again, hopefully you have a field recorder track for your interviewing. You can do this method. It's much cleaner. But desperate times, do this method. Again, that's the syncing method. What you'll then do is maybe this one big audio at the bottom is the best audio. What you'll do again is unlink everything. Link everything, and then delete all this extra fluff here, delete it, and then this will be your main audio, which is kind of unfortunate because you can see it's blue. This is from your camera or from your phone. It's not as ideal. So be it, you know. Yeah. Yeah. So what we'll do next is we're going to transcribe our sequence. So now we'll go under the captions window here, and we're going to, under captions here, we're going to click transcribe sequence. And just wait for it. Audio on track, mix, English, opt in to recognize when different speakers are talking. You can do that. This is the only one I would have checked. Make sure it's audio on track, and it'll transcribe the sequence for you. And by sequence, we mean timeline. This could take a couple of minutes. I think it takes 4 minutes on my computer. It could take longer on others. So, yeah. Right, it'll transcribe the sequence, and what it'll do is it'll basically create a captions track for your entire video. I take it back, 9 minutes remaining. It'll take a while. So again, right now we are on this step right here, transcribing sequence. If we look at the timeline that we have, right, we only have our interview clips that are synced. Stand-up or voiceover is also fine. I mean, I would anything where anyone's talking and you want to put that on your timeline. You want to make sure it's in order. No B-roll, no music. All your videos are on the timeline. Make sure that they're all synced, that they're all synced with the audio. And then what we'll do, as we're doing right now, is transcribing the sequence. This is going to take a while, so I'm just going to put on pause. Yeah, we'll just stop here for now until the transcript is ready. Right, and we're back. So we'll go back to sharing screen, and now we have a transcript laid out.
Wait,
right?
ask Jack if he's.
So now we have a transcript laid out, and what this has is all of your script, and and if you click on the word, your time bar here, or I don't know what to call it, or line, it'll pop automatically straight to, we see how it just shifted, right? If we went to Almond Elementary School, it shifts. Again, not a perfect transcription source. I mean, it makes some mistakes, but you know, it has most of it. It has most everything. Punctuation's pretty god awful, but it has most things. So what this is handy for is that you can just read it. I mean, reading a transcript is so much faster than anything else. I mean, listening to a 5-minute interview versus reading a 5-minute interview, you'll get through it 10 times faster. So what we're now on is splice everything using transcript. So we're going to use Command K to splice. Very, very important. Equally important, be ruthless. Anything that doesn't sound interesting, it doesn't even matter how great the delivery is. If you read it and it doesn't seem interesting, take it out. All we are doing is splicing. We're not deleting anything. We're not reorganizing things. We're not putting things in new spots. We're just going to cut stuff. Why? Because the moment we move, say all of this, say we just moved everything by accident, the transcript does not know that you moved anything. So if we play it through, my audio is not playing. What's wrong with my audio? Share. Yeah, I'm sure I should be sharing sound. I don't know why it's not playing. Oh yeah, of course. You can't hear anything. I was just fell into my own mistake. You expect it to play something, right? It's moving things, but you don't hear anything because there's no audio track because you moved everything, right? The transcript does not recognize that you modified the timeline, right? So here, if we have, I don't have any follow-ups, right? Hopefully we're all heard. I don't have any follow-ups. Then we hear it, right? We see the thing moving. So we're only splicing. We're only splitting things up. We are not shifting things around. Okay, so we'll start at the beginning of the interview. Again, our interviewer for this interview was pretty non-traditional. Did not start with what's your name and what'd you do? Again, everyone should ask that question first off of relatively near the beginning. Don't ask it at the end. Unfortunately, our interviewer asked it at the end. So, you know, whatever. Thank you for coming out. It doesn't sound interesting. Tell me where you went to kindergarten. So here sounds relatively interesting. We'll make a cut, highlight all the clips, and Command K. We now see that they've split. He separated the clips into multiple things.
Tell me where you went to kindergarten.
I went to kindergarten at Almond Elementary School, just down the road from here.
Period. That's all that's interesting. So what we'll do is we'll make another cut. You could cut at the start of a question, the end of a question, start of the response, end of the response. Depends on your style, but this is the basics. You need to cut here. And I don't care about the This is not, I don't care about that. You see, we just shaved this amount. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot.
And what do you remember about that the teacher you had and your class in general?
Okay, so we'll scroll back up, and what do you remember? Command K. We'll keep going. Teacher I had class in. Teacher I had was Miss Powell, not the nicest woman actually, like the teacher I made some lifelong friend, pretty sure, okay. This all sounds relatively interesting. Period. Cut. Right? We don't even need to listen. So are you jealous of your siblings? Command K. Keep going, keep going. All kind of cool, sure. Cure, cut. And again, be ruthless. Anything we think is not interesting, we get rid of it. And it's just as easy as that. Again, select everything, Command K. Yeah, Command K. Scroll down, right, and you're a senior, correct. Command K. I'm a senior, that is correct, period, here. So, and you know, this kind of blends it together. Yeah, you don't have to make a cut. We could make a, let's make a cut. Cut, like so. What advice do you have to kindergartners today? Enjoy yourself. Wow, real funny. Go to recess, leave at noon. Great time to be alive, period. Period. Any questions? Nah. So we keep reading the transcript, see what's interesting, see what's not interesting. Yeah. And whatever. We keep going. Oh, interesting. All of a sudden we see another question being asked. Command K.
Do you think your advice still holds true at post-kindergarten? No.
Yes. No.
Well, then our interviewer busts in, Kieran Costa. Command K, we'll just get rid of that. So yes, right, this is where we splice. We don't care to hear its response. We like this. Post-kindergarten, no, the advice does not hold true, right? As soon as you get to kindergarten, Command K, we're gonna start grinding. Exactly, Sigma grinds it as soon as you exit kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Period. Command K. That sounded interesting. The rest doesn't. The rest does not. So on and so forth. We keep scrolling. Yeah, nothing else sounds interesting. Nothing. Oh, my name's Layton. Interesting. Actually, not interesting. Necessary, because
Hour.
this is something we have to keep. And I'll be honest with you, nothing else looks interesting. So now that we've spliced, now that we've read the entire transcript, what we can do now is delete all the fluff, right? Because now we've picked everything that matters, right? Again, it is when you have this transcript that you could do the follow along here. These are the sound bites. This is the order of sound bites and the sound bites that you should have. You know, you might have a script. Just follow your script. Mac, find it in the transcript. Splice. Okay. What we're now going to do, we're going out again. We've done it all. We've spliced it all. Now we're going to reorganize. By reorganize, I mean delete. Again, the process is the same for this footage as well. Just saying. And so all of this is not interesting. We're going to delete it. Like so, just highlight and delete. It's as easy as that. Again, you can use the slider on the bottom to scroll, use plus minus to increase or decrease size. None of this was interesting, we're going to delete. Was this interesting? No, this was not interesting, so we'll just delete. Delete. What's here? That's interesting. This, not interesting. Again. This, not interesting. What's here? Yeah, we like this response. We'll keep it. What wasn't interesting? Typically, it's every other. I mean, so you can kind of find it pretty quick. That is correct. We like this. This response here we did not like. We're gonna delete. Cool. Where are we now? We have this whole part here. That's my name. This part here. Do we care about this?
So
Yeah, it's just blank space. We'll delete it. Here, don't keep in contact with most of them, yada, yada, yada. Now we'll go over here. You can always slow down the video later when you're replaying this if I'm going too fast. Delete, again, you Command K, now we're just highlighting and deleting, okay? And all this, I don't think we needed. Yeah, so we'll just delete it, okay? Now we have all of our footage, all the things that we cared about. And what you're going to do now, you're going to highlight and you're going to reorder them depending on whether or not they need to be reordered. I highly recommend you reorder it. I mean, that's the power of the editor, is to splice and to mix up and to make sure that the responses become cohesive, as if the interviewee thought it all at once, and you know, he presented to you in a perfect order. But guess what? They never do. This is the job of the editor. Don't have the responses going all over the place. So, lucky for you, the order of sound bites, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. Just follow along this, okay? What this means is we're gonna grab this here and we'll put this in the front. Everything else is in the right order, luckily. Not always the case. What you're gonna do now is you can just select it all and just drag them together so that they're now seamless. Just drag them together like so, right? And they connect, right? If they overlap, then you just lost part of your soundbite. See how we did that? We dragged it over, and now it's cutting into. No, you just want it to meet. The arrow should pop up. Shortcut for this is highlight everything here, right? And then you're going to go into sequence, then close gap, and then it closes all the gaps. So that's it. Again, now we see that our transcript is actually completely messed up because we deleted stuff and it didn't recognize it. At this point, what you can do is re-transcribe sequence if it really bothers you. So re-transcribe sequence like so. Just click it, and it'll re-transcribe, go through the same process again. Yeah. Again, transcription time will take longer depending on how much stuff is on your timeline. We're going to retranscribe it just for ease of mind.
Ernest, I didn't know this shoots infinity.
It does. And so we'll just let it go. Again, we are now at this part, right? Retranscribing sequence. At this point, your video is probably only a script with every camera angle you have, right? Jump cuts are everywhere. Very, very much true. We just see like every time he changes things, he changes position on screen. It's fine. We will begin to add cosmetics once the transcription is done. So I'll come back. Right, and we're back. Sorry, might seem a bit all over the place. So now we're here. We've retranscribed everything, and what we'll now begin to do is do more cosmetic stuff. Every time we have these jump cuts, right? The beauty of this is that what we can now do is, well, we can go back to assembly now or editing. Doesn't really matter as much. Is we can just cover it up with a different camera angle, right? So all you gotta do is hold shift, drag one up, right? And now all of a sudden,
Where you went to kindergarten.
I went to kindergarten at Almond Elementary School, just down the road from here.
And what do you remember about that?
And now nothing feels intrusive. The jump, having multiple camera angles, again, live by this, and you can always cut it, change it wherever you need to. Like, oh, all of a sudden, maybe I want to splice it here. I want to bring this up here, like so, and all of a sudden the camera angle changes.
And your class in general.
The teacher I had was Miss Powell.
Cut. You know, it's up to you. You can always make some changes. Like so, we can drag this one up here, right?
Miss Powell, not the nicest woman. I actually liked the other kindergarten teacher better.
Cut. You can drag it back down, you know.
Because my siblings had her.
All right, and you have these camera angles to make things interesting, but most importantly, to cover up jump cuts. Now, that's one way. Use camera angles to cover up jump angles, right? Alternatively, again, these are pretty much cosmetics. You could add B-roll, right, where relevant. So I had that earlier here. Okay.
Miss Powell.
This is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Almond Elementary School.
Down the road from here. Just down the road from here.
Right, Almond Elementary School, just down the road from here. Luckily, right here, we had an animation that I called screen recording that belonged right here. So we'll just delete the audio from here, and it fits.
I went to kindergarten at Almond Elementary School.
Right? It kind of looks zoomed out. What you can do is, under the effects panel, you can kind of just drag it down a bit. If you double click, you can kind of, well, something doesn't look right. You should be under effects controls here, and you're going to look for the crop button. You can just drag the crop onto the clip that you're looking for, right? So drag the crop on top of the thing you want to modify, which is the screen recording here. Crop is a very, very useful function to have. Crop. Now we'll double click it. You'll see all these things pop up. Just like zoom. I'm not sure. Did that do anything? I don't think it did. So actually what you can just do is modify the scale here until it fits, which would be like that. Nice. So now
I went to kindergarten at Almond Elementary School, just down the road from here.
And it covers up the jump cuts. What you could then also do is, so we just added graphics, you could add B-roll, you could add animations, again, whatever needed to cover up the jump cuts. Try not to have any jump cuts. If you find yourself struggling and you only have one camera angle, like here, we only have, for this whole section, we only have one camera angle. If you are really, let's see what this is. And let's say like there's, for some reason, you know, he blunders or something, right? So Command K, what you'll do is here, you'll go, again, we're under the effects panel here, right? Effects. You'll select this, make sure that you're under the effects controls, see that all of this pops up. What you can do is create a zoom effect, right? Modify the position. And this is kind of cheating, but the additional zoom will make it seem as if there is no jump cut, but you're in fact just emphasizing the point that he's making, right?
But my class was really nice.
Right? And so we kind of successfully not really masked a jump cut. You know, it's ambiguous whether or not it really was a jump cut or not. But zoom in's kind of a last resort. That's why I like to shoot wide, capture more. That with one of your camera angles, capture more of the guy so you can zoom in, zoom out, zoom in on his hands, zoom in on his face, whatever he's doing. At this point, you could add in music. There was no music here. And what you're going to do now, final step, is you're going to select all your audio, and you're going to right-click, click audio gain, and normalize all peaks to -6. This will ensure that none of your audio goes higher than -6. If you ever have Mr. Barker yelling at you saying the audio is really inconsistent, my ears are hurting, so on and so forth, it probably means you did not normalize your audio. So actually what we can tell now is if we zoom in to the thing itself, right, we see this waveform, right? Before we normalized the audio, it was all like this, but we selected it all, we right-clicked, clicked audio gain, we set normalize all peaks to -6, and all of it shrunk down. Now nothing is higher than -6, right? Right? It's all in the green. It's healthy for the eardrum. Before it might have hit -4 or 0, you know, it really would have started clipping the audio. Could you stop that, Sophia? And so if you're going to add music, again, you just drag it on like any audio track. You're going to normalize it to -12 decibels. I believe this information is on here in the follow along. Yeah, music, -10 to -14. But you should always listen back with earbuds or headphones, see if the audio levels are appropriate. And what we've done now is we've pretty much done it all. So exporting, Command M. Label your file, whatever you want, output it as whatever you want, don't really care. The format needs to be H.264, must be this one. Makes it easier for uploading to Google Drive. Match source, it's gonna be high bit rate, medium bit rate is also okay, but H.264, high bit rate, and export. And then you're done. That's all there is to editing. It is just basics. If you have any trouble, refer back to the Google Doc with the follow along. It's not exactly comprehensive. If you ever have questions, just Google it or ask a peer or Mr. Barker, because Mr. Barker kind of has a grip on it, of how to edit. That's it. Good luck.